Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. Hanshu coming back with the Hindu analysis. So, today what we are going to cover, let's have a recap. And starting with the front page, it's about the SC stays Lokpal order on power over HC judges. Rekha Gupta take over as a ninth Chief Minister of Delhi. Second page covering about the trade deal possible with China's Trump and the final flourish that is happening in Jammu Kashmir, and Microsoft enabled a new quantum chip. The third page covering the articles about the transformations of Koraput tribal food baskets and new line in Delhi, and also editorial about the long winding road of China and India's relation. Fifth page covering about the UP's infrastructure technology boost with 8 lakh budget, and also all the states, how this other states also presenting their budget. Sixth one is article covering the is there a right to take offense and watering down. Seventh article is Delhi cabinet decided to implement Ayushman Bharat table CAG reports. IB ministry warns OTT against the obscene content. Eighth article is about its consumption enough to drive the growth. So these are the all the slides that I've added as the important editorials that we are going to cover today. So stay tuned till the last. The tutorial is going to be interesting and amazing. So let's starting with the front page about the SC stays Lokpal order on power over High Court judges. So what is the special bench's term on the anti-corruption? It's obudusman's interpretations. Very disturbing after it passes order giving itself jurisdictions to measure, investigate the complaints against High Court judges. So where is the ombudsman's term used here? So Lokpal and Loka Ayukta are formed at the state and central levels, and the Lokpal is formed at the central level. So it was coined by the term, it's LMV Singhvi, and when it was first implemented in 2030, it is chaired by the member committee team by Pranab Mukherjee. So questions may be asked, so I added this. And so where this ombudsman's term is used, basically it is originated in Sweden. Many times other places it is used here, and basically it is used in Lokpal bills. So here the SC stays, Supreme Court stays the Lokpal orders on power over SCs. How he is implementing their more power more than the High Court judges. So let's define here. What is redefining judication? That Lokpal on January 27 order defines the rules and condition under which acquired the 1972 its inquiry complaints against High Court judges. So the SC judges are a public servant under Prevention of Corruption Act but are not a public servant under a Lokpal Act. So SC was established by the Constitution, and HCS pre-exists Constitution are only recognized by it. A judges of High Court established Act of Parliament will come within the ambit of expression. The section 41FA. It's 41F. So section 20 here, the Lokpal acts as a preliminary inquiry to a complaint lodged against High Court judges. So there was a Thursday stayed a Lokpal order bringing High Court judges under its jurisdictions on the anti-corruption's ombudsman's in interpretation. So taking a suo moto basically taking own actions. Taking a suo moto cognizance on a January 27, Lokpal ordered a special bench of Chief Justices B.R. Karwai, Suryakant, A.S. Oka, 3 senior judges, Supreme Court, and these are senior advocate Kapil Sibal, B.H. Marlapale, and Solicitor General Tushar Mehta appeared the union government. So the registration of complaint was on the plea of January 27 on the order passed included. So here the favor of private companies, and it alleged that a client of judges during the It's a later years advocate. So there is a 13 pages order of Lokpal concluded the High Court judges with the public servants and came within the ambient of Lokpal and Loka Ayuk that was approved in 2013. Basically, it is passed many times. Every time, just given this was come with new laws, like it type fails 8 times, and finally it is implemented in 2013 by election committee. Basically, these are Lokpal and Lok Ayukta are basically are meant for the cases that are pending over the other courts, that they don't have just if they if the high court's cases are so much pending. So these are the there's a backbone, and just have a this is a static part, so you can study more about the Lokpal here. Questions can be asked. It's an important topic and questions have already asked. So next one is about the Rekha Gupta taken over a ninth Chief Minister of Delhi. So the ninth Chief Minister of Delhi, MLA Rekha Gupta, took over oath at the Ramlila Maidan, and there's a key for and there's a cabinet council of ministers of forms here, like of finance, revenue, women, child development, business, and other were allocated departments. Like cabinet comprises Pravesh Sahib, who will handle the public welfare department, and water is Ashish Sood. We'll take just have a one time a look at these questions, who has given which charges in their cabinet. So the education and urban development is Majinder Singh Sirsa, he is Majinder Singh Sirsa and Parvez Sahib. And a charge forest environment industries, Ravindra Indraj, who will took social welfare and ST welfare cooperation, and Kapil Mishra, who has been handed the law and labor employment tourism department. So hour after the new chief minister and ministers were sworn in BJP, and Yamuna Ghat clicking, Yamuna expected to be the BJP's top priority. And 5 years tenure, several BJP leaders, including Mr. Modi, run up to Delhi elections and promised to clean the Yamuna and build a river in front of its bank. So moving to the next page is about the trade deal with the possible with China's Trump. So, US President Donald Trump suggested a trade deal will be possible with China, a key target in US leaders' tariff policy. 2020, US had agreed to a great trade deal with China, and a deal was possible with Mr. Trump, told reporters year on Earboard Air Force. So, the main policy of tool was lowering the massive US trade deficit. Like China is that country that has never have created their trade deficit. They always never created trade deficit. So they was try to just make a good relations with the US, and that the trade deal will possible. So the custom duty is 10% on the imported from China, and dialogue and consultations based on equality and mutual respect. So the Sopian district of Kashmir, the picture here depicting the after nearly 2 months of an unprecedented dry spells, Kashmir Valley receives rainfall, snowfall, raising the hope improve for water availability. Next is about questions can be important as a science tech. Microsoft unveils a new quantum chip as the way from joining the Google and IBM in predicting yet that fundamental changes in the is closer than the belief, and quantum computing promises out the calculations of years of the he could. The biggest challenge is the quantum computing, and is that fundamental building block called qubit. Qubit error, and the error reveals that the chip has been worked nearly for 2 decades and supposed to follow the properties of subatomic particle called it's Mazorna fermion, which has been hard to find since popularized in 1930. So one more news is about the non-BJP ruled state in South India opposes the UGC proposed guidelines. Like policy pushed by Kerala, guidelines dismiss the state rules, infringes the legislature powers, and divines lower academic standard. Telangana here the undermines the state autonomy, disadvantages and enforce unfair criteria. Karnataka here imposes the foreign models, promote privatization, neglect economic accessibility and concerns. Tamil Nadu here, the this include the state from decision imposed to the financial burden and centralize the power. So moving to the next is about the transformation of the Koraput tribal food basket. So here basically there was the descriptions about a tribal group of a Koraput district in Odisha where there are tribal scape landscape which is rich in the biodiversity and home predominantly to tribal population. So let's have a one look to the editorial. So here there is a National Health Family Survey data 2019. It's 43% of children under the 5 year of age 5 year of age were stunned, 33% underweight, 70% feed adequate diet and 50% are anemic. So the transformation to our nutrition security is MS Swaminathan Foundation emerged at a community-based model of nutrition literacy in order to empower the tribal communities with a nutritious food, and aim was to facilitate the transformative processes and spearheaded by the community. The production was adopted along with the sanitations, hygiene, infant and young children feeding at practices. So they are taking the data. So first step was to the synthesize the community to its nutritional status, and this involved the accessing the nutritional status of women, children, adolescents, boys, girls by taking their height, weight, consolidating data as secondary data and presenting them to community after a subsequent discussion. A few residential training programs, each about 2.5 days long, were held at periodic interval over 6 months. And the collective power is while the spaces are usually hierarchically determined, residential training gave them opportunity to engage with people from other villages and both genders. So messages and songs were created composed on a participations of various themes: hygiene, sanitations and support to women, while the sanitation support to women, while aware of few government, they were eager to learn about many more. So more than 200 men and women over 70 villages were trained in residential training, and there was a community of champions. So this is a late example that undertook a range of activities both individually and collectively, and those who had a planned begin cultivating a variety of crops, and many of them started growing more vegetables, fruits. Home gardens were revived. About diversity of crops increases from about 4 crops at the beginning, and one woman champion got their back at land, another were landless. Here's the description. So the diversity is here like the fascinating challenges is that villagers also monitor the direct feeding of the sensor was sanctioned, and the supervision defunct village structure, so the nutrition security and their villages meeting all the overall plan for hunger for villages. So there is a next news is about the new line in Delhi. So how the Bharatiya Janata Party appointed first member of the Legislative Assembly Rekha Gupta as a new Chief Minister of Delhi with a line of preference for relatively junior and fresh leaders positions. So Mr. Gupta has Mrs. Gupta has risen though the ranks of Sangh Parivar won the Delhi University students. She was like she was already part, participants of president of university students champion municipal elections and going to elect assembly from Shalimar Bagh. She held a positions in the party of frontal organization. She's so Mrs. Gupta 50 has her task out. She has to balance community with a sectional interest within the party, authority over the bureaucracy. So where BJP tried to balance caste and community representation with a new council of minister Pravesh Sahib. It's Pravesh Sahib Singh Verma. The party has founded someone to represent the Jat community. So basically, the BJP tried to choose every leaders from the different sections, so that they know the better about the development in which sector, who are more like who are more prevalent in that their field. So the Punjabis Hindu communities, Ravindra Indrajas and the Jat Majinder Singh Sirsha, the Sikh community, Ashish Sood, the Punjabi Hindu community, Ravindra Indra Dalits in Mishra Brahmin, Pankaj Kumar Singh, the Purvanchal community. So new governments are waiting for the multitude of governance challenges waiting and need a solution that go beyond the boundaries of Delhi. So already the education is like education facilities, education is already on the top mark, so they don't include education, but all other developments like basically the Delhi is facing from two problems like air pollution and water pollution, and after that they try to work on it, and also the other sexual interests that are not getting benefited from the schemes. So they offered electoral at a raft of welfare schemes to achieve, and there are also the major issues like unemployment, infrastructures, affordable housing that requires the government attentions. And in any state, like except Delhi, where the education data is very high. Like in government schools, they are providing the best quality educations. But other states, these are all the only problems that are facing, that they need the development, like housing, it's unemployment, education, it's education, infrastructures. So these are the problems that you can add anywhere in the answer writing. What are the challenges that facing by any state? So moving to the next is article is about the long and winding road of China, India's and China's relations. So on Vikram Misri was a foreign secretary 2025 during the India and China made a several announcement on future of bilateral relation. So he met a Wang Yu, who is a China's foreign minister and director of Central Commissions of Party, and Li Jianchu, the Minister of International Department for Chinese Communist Party. So, what are the possible reasons? Like India, China have attempted to move forward after more than 4 years for a tense and stalemate-based relations. The clashes in Galwan in June 20, stalemates cannot be permanent. There are several reasons are timing of Donald Trump, who is known for distributor and unpredictable. Sorry, they're doing business and India's economic concerns in China. India and China have a India and China have been pressing the Trump's impact, especially in the middle October last year. Election is already likely to happen. So, what is the China agreed to normalizing the relation with India after 1962, the war, only in backdrop of backlashes in the aftermath of 1980 Tiananmen Square massacre. China has agreed to normalize its relation with India, and that is hard to brace the Trump impact. So, however, since we do not whether patrolling rights are fully stored, the government raises doubt and questions. At the LAC also, like India has maintained absolute silence with a status of de-escalations, large number of troops. The troops were mobilized and deployed at the border. First tension during the May-June 2020, and then even in the larger number of aftermath. The troops were active during the newly created barracks, close to 6 points tensions, and was Defense is the Spang Bulge, Charding Nala, and Gogra Post hot spring on the north bank of its Pangong Lake. So there is no clarity whether there is a large number of people, Liberation Army troops on the Chinese side and to their base, and confirmation on its would mean the actual restoration of normalcy and line of actual control LAC has been achieved. India has been made it clear that after Man 2020, India has violated several agreements and protocols the two sides have signed, and one is not sure about whether they have been rectified in variable. The turn in any establishes the patrolling rights. The need for clarity is India's silence on progress of the status of restoration and status quo, and make it appear though Chinese position moving on the position of stability and restoration. So these are the India's China's relation, and what are their how they maintain their bilateral relations also. Moving to the next is UP's I infrastructure technology, 8 lakh crore budget. So already every state is presenting their budget. Yesterday we read about Rajasthan, and today is the UP government presenting their budget, and also the Gujarat budget present Uttarakhand also present the budget, their budget on like Gujarat budget offers social security and green growth project. UP basically on the AI artificial intelligence 5 crore, 3 crore for technology transitions, and 58 urban bodies for to develop a model smart urban bodies. 1 lakh micro enterprise to establish annually. 500 megawatt solar power project in Sun Jalwan district, 968 crore. Student scholarship 425 crore for the Bundelkhand region development. So the Uttarakhand budget here, it's 1 lakh crore, focuses on infra innovations and with connectivity infrastructure development, and already Gujarat. So the state news. Just if you are giving the PCS exam, then just have a look on these questions can be asked about the budgets. So sixth one is about 6 slide covering the. So what are the right to take offense? Is there a right to take offense? So the case is about the way that India's Got Latin show and the controversy initiated in its creator participants over allegedly obscene remark. Justice Gautam Patel and writers telling their opinions about is there in a right to take offense at any form of speech. So like there is Justice Gautam Patel said no such right exists. There is never restrictions on a free speech under the Article 19.2 of a constitution do not recognize offensive speech as a distinct category. Instead, the restrictions are narrowly defined, include security of state, public order, defense, morality, right to take offense lie beyond the ambit of constitution. So the Dushyant Deve said that the right to free speech is always subject to certain exceptions, including a decency and morality. However, these standards vary across the jurisdictions involved. So, is there a constitutional morality was a vital safeguard against the moral conviction of majority? Can a profane speech necessarily consider obscene speech? So, the GP, writer Gautam Patel said justice here. The speech laced with the profanities is not necessarily obscene. Understanding here is evolved 5 decades of judicial interpretation. 1964 Supreme Court, it's Ranjit D versus Udeshi state of Maharashtra applied a Victorian era Hickling test to ban Lady Chatterley Lover by T.H. Lawrence. So he defined obscenity as anything that tendency to deprave and corrupt, to a suggestible immoral influence. 50 years later, a weak Sarkar states Bengal community standard test of contemporary approaches. So writer is just giving their views about uh, is there in right to take offense. So there's just conversation here. So next is about the watering down, how the pollution in Ganga need a long-term solution, not a denialism. So writer is basically telling about uh, like there should be there should be a long-term solution, not a denialism. If if Central Pollution Board said that Ganga, this Mahakumbh was a polluted river, and there is a fecal bacteria present there, then you can't deny it a science and its term. It is about for the safety of people, not for telling just denying the fact that by that presented by the UP government. CM Yogi Adityanath said that it is he contradicted the thing about anything that is about any pollution anything, and said that it is fit for drinking water. So the data, you can't deny science thing, like if just have a permanent solution, not for just clearing the facts, giving explanations that it is fit. It is basically it is for the sake of people. So you just have to take a solution, and not any denialism about or having a taking it as an offensive way of any keeping it a politicians controversies anything else. So writer is like taking about here. So writer is just telling about CPC remotes. It's a report submitted by where is it? I have read, yes. So the CPC report is a National Green Tribunal February stated that water quality on January 13 to not fit for bathing and let alone drinking, despite bathing having a higher tolerance limit. So report here reduction in organic population pollutions due to fresh water intrusion upstream and river during the Mahakumbh Mela, particularly on auspicious day, led to inevitable spike in fecal contamination. So the fluctuation are not exclusive to the Kumbh Mela, like routine monitoring, water qualification pattern, reinforcing the fact that regardless what a festival may be, the water in Ganga, like the water in Ganga at a few drop, Prayagraj, water in the Ganga at Prayagraj is not fit for consumption, whether as a few drop or bucketful. So the river suitability for bathing fluctuation based on water flow and dilution. Considering these adverse findings, Uttar Pradesh CM Yogi Adityanath said that is baseless and is misleading. The National Mission for Clean Ganga is based on sustained effort to restore the river health and prioritize the continuous cleanup efforts. Kumbh Mela highlights the urgent science can come at the aid of faithful or its own interest to undermine the scientific things in the name of encouraging of spiritual journey. So we can't deny the fact of that science aid to any spiritual journey. So just here it was about. Let's moving to the next is about Delhi cabinet decided to implement Ayushman Bharat table CAG reports. So they are implementing Ayushman Bharat. So here the two main decisions have been taken. First, Yojana, which was stalled by earlier government, and because of Aam Aadmi Party, people of Delhi didn't get it. Today, the first cabinet meeting was taken this season, and implementing Ayushman Bharat Yojana in Delhi with 5 lakh top up from Delhi government. Also, 5 lakh will be given in the central government. Where is it? Sorry. So the 5 lakh will be given to the. So the 5 lakh will be given to the central government and will be implemented early as possible, Mrs. Gupta said. So the second 40 CAG report. 40 CAG report were pending and not tabled by earlier government will table on the first assembly. Asked about the Bharatiya Janata Party campaign promise of providing 2500 per month, 2500 month to women. CM said and we discussed as a required on the call category of women. So will fulfill promises. So Mrs. Gupta had taken a charge of chief minister, oath taking and a mission of Viksit Delhi. To complete it, we will keep working toward and will complete every commitment we had. So the draft cabinet notes based on BJP, whoever, he had also asked the departmental to prepare the 100 days action plan based on BJP manifestations, and the BJP Delhi unit is Vijendra Sachdeva. Sachdeva emphasizes the government dedications to cleaning up the Yamuna and restoring its unrepeated flow, and we want to make Ma Yamuna clean, free flowing. And another is about it's a Pravesh Verma said we have to oath to resolve not only to clean Yamuna but also fulfill our. So basically, Delhi is facing the two problems: air and water pollutions, and they and the expectations from the BJP government. People expecting more from the BJP government, and AAP was also just having a look what how this government is working. So they are expected more, and they have to do their best for the Delhi government, for Delhi state as a making as a national capital. They have to the people expectation a lot about from these governments. So basically, the reports are CAG reports have been prompted placely before assembly for discussions and dragging its feet. Next one is about IB ministry wants OTT against the obscene content. So the here the informations and broadcast ministry wants OTT against the obscene sin. So there should be a categorization of like it's adult and it should be a age based content. So the OTT like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and other OTT performances, streaming devices to serve a formal grievances, and there should be a part of 3-tier system which were under the user offended by certain content can first approach. So SC seek actions is here. There's led by Justice Suryakant orally observed that government need to take some action on obscenity like pornography and narcotic was just so is this classification content should be under the digital media liability ethics rule be plated here, and there is obscene pornography and vulgar content, the circular referring it. So promoting the glamorous and glorifying the narcotic drugs and psychotic substances portrayed as the main paternalistic actions. So moving to the next article is about is consumption enough to drive growth? So here why investments increases the growth. So the compared to the investment, the multiplier effects are increased and consumption is much weaker. If income increases, consumption expenditure also increases, but the relation does not strongly enough in the reverse direction. Like here's the data about the India's and China's, and how the 2000 India and China's comparison about the private consumptions. It's 60.3, and it's China is 39.1, investment 30.8, and 40.1 China invested here. Government consumption is 10.4, China 16.5. Its export 21.8 and 19.7 China. Less imports 24.1 and 17.6. So the GDP is 100 here, 100, and GDP per capita currently is 2481. It's 2481 for India and 12,614 for China. So this is the data of 2023. Disruptions. So the investments as a institutional GDP by institutional sector is here. The private corporate interest and public investment and household investment. These are the datas of 1819. Basically different datas is 11, 12, 13, 14 is given here. It's 15.7 is rises, 14.6 next one, 70.5. It's 12.9. It's household investment. 10.9 private consumption investment. It's private consumption investment, and public investment it's 7. So how GDP is calculated here? GDP, it's value added in the productions. It's value added in the productions of all goods and services is equal. It's C plus I plus IG plus CG plus E minus M. Here the data already mentioned here. So government consumption, private consumption, here investment, these are denoted here. How India and China's experiences the per capita income. That China were almost same. Both countries were equally poor. With 1980 was talking about 1980 that both countries equally poor. But how the average income of India China resident being approximately 1.5% of average income. But 2023 China's per capita income has grown to 5 times as high as India's for 2.4 times. So you can see the how the China just recovered their and increases their per capita GDP, and it's a year of comparison of 1980 and in today's 2023. So there's a long jump of the China's its GDP and its consumptions and expenditure datas. So that's for today. It's covering all the tutorials and datas. Important science and tech news also. International relations. There is one more, maybe one news about here. Maybe I forgot to cover. If anything is left, I will cover it in tomorrow editorial. So don't worry about it. Let's have a summary and ending the session. So SC stays the Lokpal order a power over SC judges. Rekha Gupta taken as the 9th Chief Minister of Delhi. Next is about Microsoft unveils a new quantum chip and trade deal possible with China's Trump. Third was about transformation of Koraput's tribal food basket, new line in Delhi. Fourth one is about the long and winding roads of India's China's relation. Fifth is about UP's I infrastructure technology boost with 8 lakh crore budget. Budget offer social security and green growth for Gujarat. Seventh one is about Delhi cabinet decided to implement Ayushman Bharat. table CAG reports, and IB and Ministry wants auditing against obscene content. Editorial is about enough to drive the growth. So that's for today. Just ending today's editorial. So meet you tomorrow with a new editorial. Thank you for tuning up to the last. And if you're new to the channel, just subscribe it. Maybe you like the content. Just uploading every day Hindu analysis content. Hope you get some benefit from it. Stay connected and thank you and good night. Let's meet tomorrow with new editorial. Thank you.